Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Magical Coffee Hour. I am Drake, and tonight we're going to have us some fun with a bit of occult chat and some questions, hopefully. Usually every weekend you guys got some question or another, so that should be no issues. Um, let's see. I was told to remind everybody for super chats of $5 or more with or without a question, you are included in a spell working that we do every Monday for prosperity, well being, luck, health. Um, so if you are interested in that, feel free to use the super chat. Someone told me I have not been mentioning it. They thought super chats were no longer a thing. They are a thing. You can use it. That's fine. And when we get busy, if your question's getting missed, feel free to put it in the super chat. As long as it is family friendly, I will get to the question. And to be fair, yes, it's true. Sometimes I have tried to find ways to phrase and answer questions that didn't fall in that category, but I can only guarantee it if it is family friendly. For unfamily friendly questions, head over to locals, which you can find at workingdragonmystic.com. You'll find our locals community. And join us there because we can say and do whatever we want over there, which makes it a lot easier for me to answer those other questions as well. Mathis, good to see you. Mugs up to you too. Uh, and yeah, welcome. Good to see you. Hope everybody is doing well. I know a lot of people's had a busy weekend, myself included. Lori, good to see you. Lori, I hope you've been enjoying the High Ruler streams and presentations over at Locals. I noticed, I think it was the last one I saw like it, or at least your name stuck in. Can't remember which. Um, I've been enjoying doing those presentations over there, so that's been really good. Uh, Kristen, welcome. And it's insane over here in the Houston area. I can bet. Yeah, yeah. I think it's been a little insane everywhere in the states right now. Um, good afternoon, Blue Star. Good to see you. Powers are coming back slowly. Do. Hello. Oh wow, we are just people popping in left and right. The electricity. Yeah, I kind of gathered that. Yeah, I got a few friends in Texas, and many of them have friends in the Houston area. Power outages and stuff. So not. I grew up in a place power outages were just a way of life. So I've just learned like when power goes out, it just doesn't phase me. Weirdly though, like what I do here on YouTube, like that's the biggest thing in my life that's affected because if power goes out, I can't do this. Um, and to some degree, that still feels weird to me that I do something that requires electricity literally. It still feels a little weird to me. I'm just that much of an old timer, I guess. Um, to do Lori B. Great videos on the rulers. I have one more to watch. Oh, there you go. There you go. Enjoy the playlist. Uh, Angela Perry. Blessings and greetings, everyone. Don't forget to behave. No trolling. Hey, thank you, Angela. Good to see you. Also, if you are here, do give us a like. The thumbs up really does help the channel out. And YouTube's been good to us, but algorithm changes. They got to pay bills, stuff like that. But the thumbs up does help the channel, help the algorithm say people like this channel, shows it to more people, gets it more attention, all those lovely things. So if you want to support us, you could always support us at locals. But if you want to support us for free, hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very much. Karma, hello. Okay, so one of the things, two things actually, I want to touch on a little bit here. So I've been getting a lot of emails from a lot of people who saying a lot of crap. Many of them, even pretending to be great arc demons and whatnot. And apparently, they're so powerful they get reduced to email or cheesy, badly written comments on YouTube. Um, People, if that is your level of maturity or stupidity, just stay out of the. Don't email me. Don't message me. Trust me, I will ignore it. At best, I'm going to laugh at you and smile as I go throughout my day, realizing you're that pathetic. Secondly, if you were truly some actual powerful bullshit that you're claiming, there's a chair right over here in my office. Feel free to manifest, sit down, let's have a chat. I even got some drinks here. But I know you won't do it because you're full of shit. Okay. The amount of edge lord emo bullshit that a person can get, it's just amazing. It absolutely baffles me that people can live in such a fictitious world completely devoid of the ability to face real life and reality. It amazes me. It really does. That being said, though, let's see what we got. And I mean, of course, that's also led me to a few conversations with friends and whatnot um, about, when it comes to magic, how real is real, what is real, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, sure, you could go down the everything is a dream, everything is a thought of another being. You could do that. But honestly, that's also a spiraling staircase that goes nowhere, in truth. Not to say it's a bad thing. But at the same time, I will say and people ask me this because they say they're surprised to find I'm a skeptic, right? They're like, you're so skeptical at everything because people send me UFO pictures. People send me pictures of Bigfoot. People send shit. And they're so surprised of how much of a skeptic I am. It's like, I need proof. I was like, this could be a trick of the lens. This could be double exposure. There's so many things. There's so many ways to fake these things, right? And I'm not saying that I don't believe in any of these things. I'm just skeptical of what's being put in front of me, correct? And that baffles people. They're like, I can't believe you just wouldn't take it at face value. Excuse me, have you watched my channel at all? I am a skeptic, people. I don't know if y'all know this. You probably do because most of y'all here follow the channel. But I am very much a skeptic. You need to put proof in front of me, right? And it's one of those things where I would say any good magician should approach life with an ounce of skepticism. Because if you're not skeptical, if you don't have some measure of functionality or proof, you're just setting yourself up to fall for anything. And believe me, there's a lot of people out there trying to take money to get you to fall for anything. They will do it. They'll promise you the world for a ritual, charge you $3,000, and you'll never see them again. But I am a skeptic, whether it become UFO footage or Bigfoot or anything. Like, I've seen some truly amazing footage of Bigfoot that I find compelling. I have not seen anything to prove Bigfoot. Right? Now, that said, do I personally think it is probable a large primate of that type could stay hidden? I do. We have found large herds of elephants in areas where people's like, how does an elephant stay hidden? Well, they did. We have found species and herds of elephants that we didn't know existed. So I'm skeptical, but that doesn't mean I just dismiss it out of hand. But I do expect proof. And I'm getting to a point, trust me. And here's my point. With magic, I can't, if you watch my courses, if you've heard my channel, I'm not going to promise you anything. I'm not going to tell you if you do this spell, you'll become a millionaire. I'm not going to tell you that this particular methodology of magic is absolutely the best. That's not what I say. I teach a method that I have found that seems to work for most people I've encountered. And I say time and time again, apply it, try it, find out for yourself. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, great. No skin off my back either way. I just wish you the best because I want you to find something to work that helps you deal with reality, deal with your life, to reach the goals you want to reach. I at no point want my teachings to be one of those things that pulls you out from reality and plugs you into a fictional world while your real life goes to shit. So please, if you do follow my channel, if you follow the Mage Minded series and in all these other things we talk about, especially on Coffee Hour, please use them to actually experience life in its fullest, not to hide from it. All right, now we've got some things popped up in here. Let's see if there's any questions. Good to see you today. And I already have a fun. I already have a funny question. Oh Lord, Angel, I love your questions. Um, Jackie O'Lantern, hi Drake, how you doing? I am doing pretty good, Jackie O'Lantern. I really am. Thank you for asking. Hope you are doing well also. If you were only able to use one magical tool for the rest of your life, which would you use? Mine would be dolls. One magic tool. I'm going see that's a tricky one because by and large my practice has gotten to the point where I really don't use magical tools much at all. So there's only two that I actually really keep in practice anymore. Um, but if I only chose one, it'd hands down be my staff. Hands down. That's the one I choose. Um, so good question though. Yeah, honestly, but this day and age I've gotten to where I don't use a lot of material components of any kind. I don't use candles. I can't remember the last time I lit a candle for a spell. In truth, now think about it, it's been a really long time. I'm really to the point where I'm manipulating the ether and everything directly. And part of that started a little ways back. I started doing some experimentation on tools and everything because I really reached the conclusion the tools don't make the magician. And outside of a few tools that help focus energy at certain times, by and large, you could just do away with them. And I started practicing more and more, and I noticed the more I was doing it, the more refined my ability to manipulate the ether got, and the better I got, and the better results I was getting. Results I couldn't get with the tools. Granted, I didn't start there just by removing the tools. I had to develop that ability. And I fell in love with it because that's essentially the ability where you could take me, lock me in any hole you want, and you can't take my power as a mage from me because fine, eliminate, strip me buck naked, stick me in a hole. I still have me, and ultimately that's the real power that I need as a mage, and that's the mindset I like. I don't like having reliance on outside things. So yeah. Uh, oh, we jumped. Um, Uh, Karma, Drake goes hard this live, and today is my birthday, so we start the day good with magical coffee. Hey, mugs up to you, and happy birthday, Karma. Happy birthday indeed. I need more water. Let's see, Memphis Isaac, I'm working on that myself. Drake gave great advice on it, and I will say meditation absolutely key. It can take time. Doesn't all come in at once. Yeah. What is he talking about? Isaac, let's see if there. Activate your third eye. Well, first off, if you're interested, go to workingdragonmystic.com. We do have a clairvoyance arcane sight class. That's literally what that class is. It's absolutely freaking free. Okay, it's not a paid class at all. It's free. Just sign up there for it. Go through that. Also, check out our video on arcane sanctums. Developing, building, and working in an arcane sanctum literally engages all your arcane senses because that's the only way you can interact with it is through your arcane senses. Both of those would really help jumpstart your make. And as Mathis pointed out, meditation, discipline is key because you do need to be able to hold focus. You don't open your third eye. I hate this term. I've grown to hate this term. You don't open your third eye. It's not like your third eye is somewhere closed inside you. If your third eye was genuinely closed, you would be dead to the world entirely. Because all the arcane senses is your brain's ability to pick up on signals. That signals is theoretically entirely coming through ether or slash energy and being interpreted in something that makes sense to the brain. That's all it is. It's not closed. It's not turned off. If it was, you'd be dead. The reality is, it's like selective hearing. Anyone who's 10 years old or more, which since this channel is not for children, everybody here should clearly pass that. You know what selective hearing is because you've ignored your parents, you've ignored your siblings, you've ignored your teachers, you've ignored something or someone at some point. But you've also probably had something where you're trying to listen to it and it's not coming through. So you focused on it and you could hear it. Anyone who spends time in the woods, you know what I'm talking about. You take someone who's used to all the sounds in the woods. They know what to focus on. They know what to pay attention to. Take someone who's lived in the city and drop them in the woods. The sounds, they can't pick them out the same. All the sounds are there. It's a matter, are you paying attention to it and have you trained yourself to pick it out? You see this with people who also go to nightclubs. People who regularly go to nightclubs can go in, sit at a table, and talk perfectly. Someone who's not normally in a nightclub can't hear shit because they're not used to filtering out all the other nonsense in order to hear the conversation. Our arcane senses work the same way. So check out that course and start working with an arcane sanctum. Check out that video. It's over there. And I think you'll trigger them really well. And stop trying to turn it on or open it. That frame of mind itself can actually prevent you from tapping into them. Does that make sense? I hope so. If I confused anyone, let me know. I'll try and fix it. See, Scarlet. New series for Enochian Angel Magic. I'll have to look for it. I have not checked out Enochian Magic in some time in books. I'm so far behind reading and research. It's been crazy, Scarlet. Sounds great, though. I know we need some more good Enochian books. There's a lot of there's a lot of cow patties out there. But we need some good ones for sure. I wish I had the time in my life to sit down, read, and evaluate all these freaking occult books. I really do. But I don't. And now I'm at the point where, like, I do so much work. I'm doing so much during the week. Like, when I get time to read now, I want to read something for leisure, not work. My brain's like, I need something else. And in some ways, it's like, it's a downer. But at the same time, I don't know if I'd trade it. It's weird because if I wasn't doing Working Dragon Mystic, I'd have all this extra free time for other things I do, right? And everybody's like, well, you could just stop Working Dragon Mystic because it doesn't really pay bills or anything. That's true. But if I did that, yes, I'd have more free time, but I'd also lose the thing about Working Dragon Mystic that I value, which is the community, the ability to help, the ability to share my experiences so that other people who may run into that issue or need that particular random ranting or advice to help them in their path, I lose that. And that to me is more important. If that makes sense. See, Angela, can you explain what you first experienced when you started scrying? How did it develop over time? Okay, so truth be told, when I first started scrying, I got me a mirror, got it all fancied up, did all the fancy bullshit they tell you to do, which isn't needed, by the way. And I set the mirror down, I got in the stance, I started gazing at it, and for the first hour, nothing. Just nothing. That's how bad it was. The second day of practice actually got the fogging over effect. A lot of people's like, well, I did that my first day. Right, you did. Okay, congratulations, kudos. I didn't. And then I probably stayed at the fogging over effect for about a week or a month. But by the end of that month, I was still seeing like a foggy mirror, but I was starting to get, I wasn't seeing anything in the mirror. I was just starting to get insights, like information plucked down to nothing while I'm gazing at it. I'm hearing things. I'm, more of a, at first it was more of an ideal or thought in my mind rather than anything like an image. And honestly, for a long time, that's where it stayed. It was just those images and thoughts started building in accuracy. There's still, the mirror was just blank as shit. It wasn't until one of my mentors said the mirror is absolutely not what you're going to be looking to see. The mirror is a tool to help you focus where the images and everything are going to be processed within your mind and your arcane sight. And in time, maybe, not all magicians, but some, it'll create a feedback loop where your mind starts projecting the image itself and it looks like it's in the mirror, but it's not in the mirror. And it was when I had that conversation and I realized overly worrying about what's in the mirror as opposed to paying attention to the information I'm getting was really holding me back. And from there, that's what I continue to do. I just quit worrying about what was in the mirror. I got the mirror to fog over, and I stopped focusing on the mirror. Um, and once it fogged over, I just went looking for what I was looking for, and I started getting better and better and better results. Now, one of the things I did do to develop this, by the way, is I did not abstractly scry. I did not. I scried with a purpose, with a definitive, fact checkable answer. And I did it. I can't remember which course this is in. I want to say it's the evocation course, is when I've done this. But there's a point where I actually demo how you test this, because I actually did a scrying session on camera where I was looking at a park not far from my house, trying to find things out of place, specifically out of place. And then immediately after I shut the camera off from that video, I went out to the park and I checked for the very, very specific things out of place. One of which was a football in the trees, and the other was a styrofoam cooler back in this area where I hang out. I love this little area back there. No one ever goes back there. Both of these things should not be in this area. This park is regularly cleaned, right? So I immediately went to the park. We actually found the football on camera. Okay, we found that football. And I went further back to where the styrofoam cooler was, and there was no styrofoam cooler. Now, as I think I stated in the video, you could write that as someone who's already picked up the cooler, and that's a probability. But for me, that meant that was not proven because it wasn't there. And I will do things like this. I will scry up and down my road here, finding out what vehicles are where, and I will actually map them out in a little notebook like this with a description that is a pickup. It's a car. If I can see the actual make and model, I'll put that here, and I will walk up and down the street to check the accuracy. Because to me, if I am only giving vague, maybe metaphorical scrying's useless. So I'm very, 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 very specific when I do my scryings, and I do exercise it even today still regularly. So it's a skill that once you develop it, you have to keep working at it because you can lose it. But if you want to develop scrying, truly develop it, put it to the test. And one of the things me and one of my mentors do is we set up regularly a little chessboard or a display. The one I have set up is right here in this corner. And we change on at random. And we each scry these displays for each other, write down what it is, and we will check our accuracy. And both her and I doing this and demanding perfection of it, not allowing it to, has allowed us to get exceedingly better. But that is how I do it. I don't do vague. I don't do any of that. Like if it's not spot on, like if I write down red Toyota Corolla, if I go out here and there's a red Ford coupe, that's not the right car. A lot of people's like, well, it's close enough. No, nope. What I saw was a red Toyota Corolla, not a coupe. That is how specific I get with that. But it has been a long journey. And even now, like I said, there's still times it's not perfect. But I keep training it. I keep putting myself to the test because I do want to develop it. I question if perfection is possible for humans. I do. But just because I question it doesn't mean I'm going to stop training. And I love scrying. It's one of my favorite divinations, so I don't want to lose the skill either way. And for those who are wondering, because I answered a question earlier, why did I pick my staff instead of my scrying mirror? People's scrying mirrors are everywhere. You don't have to make them. You don't have to buy a $400 piece of obsidian. Cell phone, look at that. Black mirror, see that? You can use that if you want to. If you want to, look, I got a glass of water. That's a reflective surface right there. Scrying mirror. Heck, this bulbous pitcher, I got some lemon water in. Scrying mirror. So let's see. But that I hope that answered your question a little bit. Da, 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 da. Lord Beta, I have a question. Of all Erisco-hated demons, which one is most interesting to you? Or, in other words, each one is your favorite to learn about? Oh, which one is my favorite to learn about? I don't actively study them all that deeply these days, to be truthful. Like I've done several path workings with them. I do work with them when I see need, something that I know they're there. I spend a lot of my time these days with the Norse and, of course, dragons, obviously. That being said, there is kind of a toss up for two that I do seem to keep company with more than others. And as to why, that's like asking why I'm friends with my buddy Nitro or my friend Raven. I honestly don't know. They're amazing people. I love them to death. But like, if you ask me that one thing, I can't answer it, especially with Nitro, because practically every part of his personality that I can think of annoys me. But at the same time, this is a man I adore with all my heart, and I trust him with my life. That being said, those two would be Paimon and Belial. Angela, oh, amazing. Everyone else questions. Everyone else, a question for the whole chat. If you could find anything magical from any time or game, what would you want to find? That's a hard one. I don't really know the answer to that one. See, this is probably one of my problems, Angela. I'm such a simple guy. A lot of the fictional fantasy stuff, I just don't know. But right off the top of my head, because I am so simple and practical, yeah, so probably something like that can help me clean the house, honestly and truly. Either that or some kind of magic that creates like an instant house that I can live in, stocked with food that maybe you need to recast it once a week, every other day, something like that. Because if I got food and shelter, I'm good. I'm happy as a hog and slop. I really am. That's just as simple as I get right there. Probably not the fanciest answer in the world, but yeah. Let's see, Drake. What do you use a staff cane wand for? Is it just a tool to help you conduct ether, or are there other uses? So, okay, good question. By and large, when we're talking about dragon magic, your staff, your rod, or your wand, or as it's sometimes called, staff cane and wand, is actually used to help balance out the draconic energies coming in. Because when you're working directly with the rulers, those are energies that can overwhelm a person fast, very fast, even the first four rulers. Now, those first four rulers with time and effort, yes, it's perfectly possible to set this over there. You don't need it. Not going to lie, that is possible with time and effort. On average, with my students, this has come somewhere between 4 to 5 years working with them practically daily, but it is possible, right? The higher rulers, we've never seen that happen yet, and that includes me. You still need a properly prepared, like you can't just go grab a stick and use it. You need a properly prepared stick for this, but you will still need that properly prepared one to balance out those energies so they're not overwhelming for you to do the rituals, and maximize them without overwhelming yourself. I've seen people full on blackout from how much ether's hitting them during those rituals. So for one, that's probably the main use for my staff, in truth. Outside dragon magic, any stick, I could walk over here and grab another stick. can be used as a staff. And yes, it could be used to focus ether during your magic, the same way you would use a wand. I prefer staff because I'll be honest, I'm kind of a big klutzy giant and I break stuff. So how my wand over there has not broke, I'm just going to credit the dragons for it because yeah, I have to buy durable things. I'm hard on things. I break stuff. So that's one reason I got it. Final reason, remember I said earlier it's practical. The final major use for this outside directing ether or in my dragon magic practice, I got 2 bad knees from a lot of accidents, so I use it to get out of the floor. When I've been sitting down doing a meditation, and well, anyone who gets into meditation and trance work and other rituals will tell you what feels like 5 minutes actually is like an hour or 2 very quickly. And when I've been sitting in the floor for 2 hours, my legs don't want to work. So, staff. Laugh at me all you want. That's the truth. Also, really great on nature hikes. Let's see, where was I? No, don't matter now. We jumped. Why did it suddenly jump on me? That's not nice. Angela Prayer Holmes, we'd miss you if you ever retired. Well, good news, folks. I'm a freaking workaholic. As long as I have internet, I don't foresee me stopping what I'm doing. Will I change the format a little? Probably. I get bored, as I told you all before. I can't do the same thing over and over and over. I like to be creative. I like to be spontaneous. But you ain't getting rid of me easy. So don't worry about that. Just head over to Locals, join that community. Even if they try to delete me on YouTube, I'll be around. But YouTube's been good to me. Can't complain. Good to know I'd be missed, though. That's sweet of y'all. Is it possible to scry and get the answer what card is that is drawn from a deck, like hold a tarot card deck facing me and scry what the card is? So, okay. So basically you're wondering if you can pull a card so you don't see the card, but you can scry and use the scrying device to see the card without looking at the card. That is technically possible. That is one way you could test it. I've seen people do that. The main reason some people don't like this, okay? So anyone who grew up in Generation X, like we know so many ways to count cards and do card tricks and all these other things that even we doubt our ability to move a card without actually seeing it. And there's a lot of us who have this doubt if like we're just going to catch like the edge of the card color and that be enough for us to figure out, what card was that? Because we've seen that card so many times. So there's some paranoia of contamination there. But at the same time, if you don't have that paranoia, it's very possible. My suggestion, also coming from being a poker player, just take the cards, break them, pick it straight up, point it away from you, and start your scrying. You can even, if you want to, take the card, put it in a little baggie that you can't see through, and set it in another room, and you can actually scry the contents of the little baggie. So you can eliminate your senses. It is possible. Just depends on how good you want to get to it. Now, there are people who will say, since you were in contact with the card, other things than the scrying could feed you information. That is a technical truth. But at the same time, scrying will still meet the main device. And if you don't have the ability to have a friend setting up stuff or to go check things in your environment for some reason, I would totally use that in a heartbeat. It's a great one. I would definitely train that over a pendulum because y'all know how much I hate pendulums, and I've explained why. The idiomotor response just makes them completely unreliable. And honestly, you almost have to take a pendulum at faith, which due to understanding the idiomotor response, I can't do that. So that would be a good idea. Give it a try. Scrying can be hard to develop. It really can. It can be frustrating as all shit. Um, let's see. Chill Karma. Yep, you teach scrying in the evocation course. It is in the astral evocation part. To be honest, scrying became my favorite divination method as well. And as an advanced to beginner, you need a lot of practice. Oh, cool. Thank you, Shield Karma. Thank you for checking me on that. I do so much. I've done so many videos and the courses. It's like I can't remember where everything's at. So thank you. Let's see, that's a really interesting method of scrying practice. The tarot cards or what I was talking about doing. Either one's actually good. Like I said, when I go scrying, I want verifiable results. I want to go into the world of fact. I don't want to go into the world of because if it's vague, like a newspaper horoscope or anyone trying to give me, some mumbo jumbo, you go through your day, you're going to find something to make it fit. I don't want something that I can make it fit. I want it to be so specific, it's either the right answer or the wrong answer. That's the only way I practice it. Not everybody has to practice it that way, but that's how I practice it. Again, I'm a skeptic. I need that kind of reinforcement there. I'm not a man of faith. I can't trust faith. Hell, I don't trust people. Let's see. Jackie O. Lantern Drake. I've been really struggling to even get vague visualizations and doubt myself so much. So hearing that it took you months to figure out scrying gives me hope and makes me feel not alone. Thank you. No problem. Look, hands down, people. A lot of you all ask me questions and talk, when I answer them and you find out that, when I was starting out as just a simple redneck, that you guys just think I sat down and it all came together. Truth be told, before I started down my path to disprove magic, if you would, I probably practiced magic at the time because, you all know I kind of got somewhat iffy with religion, and then I gave Wicca and some other things a try. But while I was in that Wicca-ish phase, that was probably a 3 to 5 year period where I'm doing magic, but I was getting next to no results. And a lot of it, I do think, was due to the methodology of how it was being presented and almost more faith-based as opposed to the more sciencey thing that works for me. But even when I set out to, prove to myself this stuff is horse shit, the results I got were good. They were verifiable enough to pique my interest to dive further. True, but it still took me many years to develop to where I am. And that being said, just so we're clear, I'm still learning. I'm still developing. I'm still working out. I'm still training. There's still plenty I haven't learned, thankfully, because I'll be honest, if I figured it all out, I'd be bored as shit. And then my wife would probably divorce me because if I get bored, I start annoying her. I don't mean to annoy her. It's just I do. It'd be like, hey, Sevi, what are you doing? Are you reading? What are you reading? What do you want for dinner? I don't know. It's bored Drake is an annoying Drake. You don't want a bored Drake. So, or worse, I know I'm going to annoy her. So I'm like, okay, I need to figure something to do. But without anything productive to do, I get these great ideals that usually end up in me getting hurt and doing something stupid. So, yeah, but no, we all have to develop. We all develop at different levels, different speeds. And even though, ironically, I would say my arcane senses did develop relatively quickly. I mean, it took me a few months to get them clicking and actually working, but then there was this period where I was just doing the same things over and over, and they were developing without me paying attention because I was just doing the workings and whatnots. I just kept them engaged. Even then, they were still developing over several years because that period where I got them functional, What I was calling functional is still far beyond what a lot of people's trying to get them to before they call them functional. So yeah, oh yeah, nobody's alone here on that. And yeah, it takes work, people. Anyone tells you magic's easy and you'll have it over the weekend, they're trying to say something. Magic requires discipline and focus for a reason. If you want the easy road, don't practice magic. It's not the easy road. Also, with that chipper little thought, we got 30 people in here. Only 15 thumbs up. Surely I'm not that ugly. So if you are here, give us a thumbs up. It does help the channel out. We'd sure appreciate it. Gets that stupid old algorithm a reason to show more people the channel. See what? It jumped again. Y'all just popped in. Scraps, hello. I don't know when you just popped in. It just jumped to that, so I figured I'd say hello. Sort of like an etheric lightning rod. In a lot of ways, that's an interesting way to describe it. But yeah, because what it does is, how can I explain this? So when you're working with the rulers, there's so much energy. By and large, physical human can't deal with it. Period. Okay, so when you're working directly with them in those later rituals in 101, especially in 102, it does help to have it. And the rulers know that they can overwhelm you. So they hold back a lot until you have it. And if you never have it, they're going to hold back a lot, meaning you're never going to get the most out of your practice, sadly. But yeah, you got all that etheric energy coming from them into your working area. Instead of it just slamming down on you like a boulder or an anvil on Wile E. Coyote, your staff works more as a channel and a funnel that balances it out with you. Because in the proper preparation of this, which if y'all wonder, it's in Dragon Magic 101, you can check it out. In the proper preparation of this, you're actually connecting it with you and those rulers. So it actually creates a nice little balancing factor there, if that makes sense. So in many ways, it is like a lightning rod. Scarlet, I don't have a specific incense and candle color for a ritual in a book of angelic magic. Can I substitute another? I would. I don't use candle colors or specific incense on anything anymore. In fact, a few years back, I did a path working specifically focused on angels. They had very specific candles and incenses. And due to where we were located at the time, I just did not have access to them. So as much as I tried to stick to the path working as much as could, I didn't have them. So I grabbed white candles and dragon's blood cone incense, used it for every freaking ritual, and got amazing results. I have never had an issue with that. The color correspondence or incense correspondence is basically a man-made concept. So it has to make sense to you, or you use what you got. It doesn't even have to make sense if you're just using what you got. I keep a lot of white candles on hand because, white. It can work for anything. So can black. But if all you have is blue candles, you can use blue candles. Maybe you got pink candles. You don't see a lot of pink candles. But if you do, you could use a pink candle. Maybe all you got what's that fancy candle? Fancy candle name. Anyway, you got one of those. Maybe it smells like cupcakes. You could use that. See, all right, carrying a staff at my last pagan gathering. Yep, they can be helpful to land on when you take a tumble. They really can. Sorry you took the tumble. But at least you had a way of getting around. Angela Glover, where can I find a way to develop my own path working? So, okay, I don't know of a place that just teaches it. In fact, actually, that'd be an amazing workshop or a course to do it, actually. But in short, Angela, what I would tell you to do is path working is a time of dedication and focus where you spend time learning from that entity or that pantheon, and you dedicate everything to it. So, for example, when I path worked through the Norse originally, um, I literally started practicing Norse magic, working with the Norse deities, and I did not lean on any other system. I forced myself to stay within that parameter the whole time, to learn and to develop. I spent time in meditation, talking with the entities. And ultimately, that's what a path working is. Now, some people use different methodologies and how they do them. So all path workings are a little different. But if you want your own path working for a deity or group of deities, all you need to do is dedicate that time and do daily workings, not just offerings, not, thank you, Odin, appreciate it, look after me. You don't want to just do prayers. That's daily dedications. Path workings, you want to literally work with them, let them know what's going on in your life, and learn from them. Help them to talk to them about how you can better yourselves, what they can teach you, and learn from them and do it daily. That's the true meat of a path working. Daily spell work does not a path working make. It's you want to sit down and learn from them. If you can do evocation, do daily evocations. That's my bread and butter. I love to do that. I'm either doing evocations or working with them directly in my astral sanctum. So a lot of my path workings are heavy in trance work and evocation these days. That's just what I love to do. But don't just do a spell working. Don't just do a prayer offering thing. Actually sit down, talk to them, learn, keep a journal. And if that's what you're doing a path working. Pretty simple, really. Maybe there's not a course in that. But, I'm going to put some thought into that and see if I could do a little bit better organization on how one could go about doing their own path working. Patrick, hi, Drake. Just want to say I started Dragon Magic 102 section on X Boon Well last night. He showed up as I watched your demo. It was a great surprise. Amazing, Patrick. X Boon Well's a hoot. I love him to death. Even when I'm not doing prosperity magic, the dude is someone I can totally chill with. I love him. Yeah, he does. He loves to pop in. I've heard that from so many people. And it's great to know he doesn't just pop in for me, that's just who he is. He's going to pop in. He's like, hey, look at this. This jackass is talking about me. Don't worry. We're going to do some good magic. He's a good guy. I like him. Let's see. Taper candles. Taper candles work just fine. I actually prefer taper candles this day and age. I have stopped buying those little tea light, or not tea lights, the little long, skinny spell candles. I don't buy those. First off, they're overpriced as shit. You can buy a taper candle and you can use it for weeks on end. You can, contrary to popular belief, you can put a candle out and reuse it. So look at my, check out my prosperity spell, Ellen, and you will notice that I use a large green taper candle. And since I'm redoing the spell multiple days, I just relight the same candle. And when I blow it out, I purposely blow energy into it as I blow it out, which also puts that same prosperity energy into it, turning the candle that I'm using to do the spell also into a talisman that is also drawing prosperity. And I get this lovely little loop. It's amazing. So yes, taper candles are absolutely usable. Oh, we got a super chat here. I think Orion and both have important questions. Oh, okay. That is amazing, mate. That is amazing. Look at you helping other people. Let's see here. Let's see. Orion, Astral Sanctum. I believe I call that my spiritual sacred grove. That's awesome. I didn't realize that others practiced this. I always felt unusual speaking with it. Yeah, just I don't know if it's the same thing, because if you're talking about like a location physical, no. But if you're talking about someplace on the astral that you have with like a grove, I know a lot of people whose astral sanctums are groves. Yes, it's the same thing. If you're interested, just to confirm, check out my video on astral sanctums. I describe it in detail. But yeah, don't feel weird around here. We love weird questions anyway, so feel free to come on in here. Keep it friendly, keep it fun, but you're always welcome. We always welcome opinions. Everybody also give Mathis a freaking mugs up for just bringing attention to other people's questions. Thank you for the super chat, Mathis. Let's see, Orion and not having this. All right, let's find not having this. Not having this. Do you have any advice on how to practice keep your skills up when people are making your life so difficult it's hard to focus on anything but survival? You're right, Mathis. Absolutely great questions. So yes, I do. First off, life is meant to be hard. Life is meant to suck. Life, its job is to be the schoolyard bully. But we are also meant to enjoy it because difficult times are the things that test us and strengthen us and forge us. Okay. And that's how we learn and grow. So, first off, I would say if you are interested, not having this, go check out my Mage Minded series. We have a few Stoic videos on there where we discuss a few things like the happiness triangle and others. Check those out to expound on what I'm about to tell you. I'm not just cutting you off there, mate. Don't worry about that. But yes, life sucks. Life gets hard. I can tell you, as someone who used to work 17, 18-hour days, it gets hard. And you're right. There is a point where you get to the point where you think you're just trying to survive. And it is difficult. What I would say is look at your life, look at what you can do, look at where you're spending your time, what you're doing. In truth, it is very, 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 very truly rare that we cannot find 5, 10, 30 minutes to work on some skill, even if it's meditation, right? We don't need large, giant chunks of time. You hear people talking about 3 and 4 hour rituals, horse shit. You don't need that. If you can find 30 minutes a day, you can keep your practice going. If you can't find 30 minutes, if you can squeeze time in anywhere, you can do it. I actually know a guy who was so busy, he worked in his astral sanctum 10 minutes a day at, I think he said 2 or 3 intervals. And the only time he found to find that time was while he was on the shitter. So he'd literally go in, sit down, pop a squat, and go to his sanctum, do his 10 minutes, pull up his drawers, and go. That's what he did. But if you look at what you're actually spending your time on and what you value, because I can tell you right now, I don't know a person who hasn't lost 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes or an hour on their phone, playing a silly game, scrolling through some social media. And they're designed to be scroll addictive. They really are. It's amazing where we can find time when we start examining it first, okay? And find that time. But don't just put the time to skill training. Also consider taking a breather for yourself. It's good to take a breather. Oftentimes the only breather I get is in the shower. That's not bad. I will hop in the shower, I'll soap up, I'll wash. I will do my cleansing rituals that I do. I've told you all about those. But then I'm just going to take me 5 minutes or so under the shower and relax. Because if that's the only free time I can get, I'm going to take it. We can't stop people from being stupid. We can't stop people from being annoying, but we do have to take charge of how we spend our time and what we prioritize. Now, if that means you have people who are wasting your time, and we all have them, believe me, I got my fair share. I have people who I will answer a question for them nicely, and then they start spamming me 38 questions an hour. It happens. And at a point, you just kind of got to go, nope, not today. You got to make boundaries for yourself, and you got to stand up and own your life. And that does mean with family. Like I have flat out told my family, they're like, you have to do this. No, I don't. I've made it very clear. If you all give me notice and they know exactly how much notice I need, it's like, I'll help you with anything you ask. I'll hop on a plane. I'll give you a hand. If you call me and expect me there in 48 hours or less, screw you. And my friends know that. I'm a very helpful guy, but at the same time, I expect a little bit of respect and consideration. And there's been plenty of people in my life that I've had to tell them to just screw off. I ain't got time to deal with your drama. And my last bit of advice for trying to get out of that thing of survival, find the drama. Find the drama. Look for it. Go find the drama and get rid of it. Okay? If you have someone who the only reason they ever talk to you is to bitch, moan, 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 get rid of them. You don't need that. That's not a friend. That is basically an emotional vampire. Get rid of it. You don't need the drama. If you're the drama, which we can be our own drama, work on correcting your attitude. And some of that can come from that mage-minded list. And I'm going to get back into more of those mage-minded videos very soon also. Hopefully that helps a little. Not having this, was that the right question? Did I answer the right question? I hope I did not spend 10 minutes just answering the wrong question. Bless him. He gives such an amazing detailed answers. I did the best I can, all right? Probably more of my friend than y'all want to know about, but hey, he told me, and he didn't say in confidence. If he told me in confidence, I wouldn't tell y'all. In Mexico, they're trying to resurrect a forgotten goddess that was born from 1797, and the movement of her resurrect is goodwill. Her name is in English, it means holy death. Yeah, I know the particular entity you're talking about, and I know there's a lot of different viewpoints around that. On a religious scale, let's just be honest, I don't do religion. I don't get into that. Let's see, Immortal. I do my rituals and spell working for 30 to 45 minutes. That includes the Dragon's Flame ritual, 4 evocations, at least 5 minutes each one, and which goes along Pathworking Dragon Magic 102. Makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, life gets hectic. I mean, it sucks. It really does, but it's one of those things where part of why we're here is to learn to juggle it. Everybody's like, life is hard. I can't wait to ascend. I can't wait to break the physical cycle. Newsflash, this is easy mode. Once you're out of the physical cycle, it gets harder exponentially. This is easy mode. Let's try and figure this out before we hope for worse, shall we? Because most of us, myself included, we're having trouble, right? There's days I'm doing great. I think I got it all together, buddy. I am a mage with a plan. And then there's other days I'm Chris Farley in a jacket rolling down a hill, hitting every briar bush on the way down. And it sucks. But that's life. And honestly, as much as it sucks to go rolling down a hill full of briar bushes, try to enjoy the trip. Because we don't know how long we're going to be here. We don't know how long we're going to be able to enjoy the sights, the scenes, the nonsense, the good, the bad. Try to enjoy it. Try to enjoy it. So yeah. Thank you. I didn't mean people just wasting my time. I mean, they're literally threatening my life with their actions, forcing me to scramble to survive. In those cases, you're going to have to check with the authorities. You could look into magical options. That is true. I'm not a big fan of just relying on magical options. Again, that's more of a faith-based scenario in my mind. And if you're not practiced at defensive or baneful magics, they're extremely hard to do to begin with. So I would look into moving, talking to authorities, whatever it may take. Hands down. I know it can suck. It really can. I've been in that position. Unfortunately. But and you have my sympathies because I never want anyone in that position. Like if it was up to me, I'd be the last person ever in that position, and I'd happily take it because then that means the rest of y'all wouldn't. But it's not up to me. So I would speak with the authorities, find proof in what way you can, those sorts of things. I'm not a legal expert or any of those things. I don't even play one on TV to the best of my knowledge. So, yeah. Sorry, I can't be of more help on that one. Mathis, look at you just throwing stuff up there. Appreciate that. Let's see. There is a difference between just talking to a dragon and seeking a guardian dragon. There are differences because the ritual, the rite, the process is actually required for it to actually be a guardian dragon. So there is actually a difference. Let's see. Let's see, Jack. Rolling down a hill, hitting every briar bush is something I need to do. No problem. No problem. I take answers serious, but I do try to lighten the mood because heavy topics are heavy. I do believe there's a certain, if you can lift it a bit, we actually keep it better too, or retain it. What the hell? Born's throwing clocks at me? Oh yeah, Jade's had a thing. Okay, thanks for throwing the clocks at me, Born. All right, I'll get ready to wrap up here. Let's see if I got anything at this bottom. Great chat. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Drake. I was super emotionally unstable coming into here, and this really helped take care of it all. Oh, Jackie, thank you. Glad I could help somewhat. Hope you all have a great week. I know there's a lot of stressors and things going on all over the world. Do the best you can. Keep your head high. Keep doing what you're doing to better yourself and your life. Remember, self-mastery, self-empowerment. The rest of the world's going to do what they're going to do. You do what you're going to do. Do the best you can. Be the best you can. If you trip, if you fall, if it gets hard, dust yourself off, get back up, learn from the fall, and proceed forward. Even if you get knocked backward, proceed forward. You will, I assure you, make progress in the long run. It makes a huge difference, people. And take care of yourself, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Good night.